Hello, everybody. Um, just getting set up, finishing setup here. But we have tornado warnings going on in Iowa right now. Has been going on for the last hour now. Was having some technical difficulties earlier. Otherwise, I would have been on sooner. But I am here to track this weather, track this severe weather that's going on. We currently, right now, as of right now, we have two tornado warnings going on. Both are in Iowa. And in just a second here, I will dive right in. And I just got a new radar product, some new graphics here. Okay, so let's dive right in. We have two tornado warnings going on right now, both in Iowa. Let's take a look at the big picture real quick. So there's Iowa. Um, Southwest of Des Moines is where the tornado warnings are. As you can see, there is a tornado watch in central and south Iowa, and then also parts of northwestern Missouri as well. This tornado watch goes in effect until 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. So it's going to be a while here. That's another 4 hours from now. So, right now, tornado warning in Iowa. So, if you are in the Prescott area, if you are in Cromwell, if you are in Orient, if you are in Greenfield, if you are in any of these communities here in Iowa, under this tornado warning, you should be taking shelter right now. Um, and kind of the area that we're watching is kind of on the southern flank of this, kind of right in that area. Um, that's the suspected area. Let's go ahead and look at a couple of other products. Um, Here is the velocity data. Um, so, kind of like right in here, that's kind of what we're looking at for possible rotation within this storm. Near Williamson, maybe just a little bit south of the Williamson area at this time. And as we as we progress here throughout the next few minutes, hopefully things start to wind down a little bit. But unfortunately, with this environment, um, it'll probably, I mean, this whole area, it's kind of that train effect where you get a one tornado, you're likely to have more. Um, so as you take a look at the picture, there's quite a few supercells. I mean, you got a whole sort of cluster right here of storms. You got a couple building back here, and then here's the main area of concern right now. Here in central Iowa, kind of southwestern Iowa, kind of in that area. Um, so let's figure out some counties here. So this tornado warning expires in 13 minutes. I would assume that's going to expire before that. Um, that's in effect for southern Adams and northwestern Taylor counties. Um, but here's the main tornado warning, the new one that also expires in 13 minutes. This remains for northwestern Union, eastern Adams, and south central Adair, in effect until I believe 4:15. Yes, 4:15 is when this tornado warning expires. And again, if you are in the Orient area, I would be taking shelter. Um, yeah, if you are in the Orient area, if you're in Spalding, Iowa, if you're in Zion, Iowa, if you're in Cromwell, Iowa, if you're in any of those communities, even if you're in Williamson, please be taking shelter at this point, as you're close enough to these areas where you really should be taking shelter at this point. Let me do a storm track here and see some of these communities coming up, as this is kind of the main supercell at this point. This is the dominant supercell at this point, out of all the other cells we have going on. So here's the storm track, and it's moving northeast. Let's see how fast this is moving first. Okay, so it's moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. So if we draw this out at 35, so here's some of the impacted communities in the area that if you're in any of these areas, if you're in any of these towns, please be ready to take shelter, because this will be heading in your direction very soon. Nevinville in about 8 minutes, Orient in 18 minutes, Spalding in 18 minutes, Zion in 26 minutes, and the Hebron area in about 30 minutes. And so if you're back towards Winterset, Earlham, Patterson, you guys just be watching the weather, watching things, be ready, because most likely this tornado warning is going to get extended. It's a pretty nasty looking storm. And I also want to throw this in here. There is a severe weather risk that was forecasted today. And as we look at the broad picture real quick, and you can see, the green is the marginal, kind of surrounding the main risk. The yellow risk is the slight, which is level 2. And then the enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5 on the scale. That's the main area of concern, which is the Des Moines area, Ankeny, Greenfield, Ottawa, Centerville, kind of any of these areas in the enhanced risk. And let me take off the tornado watch real quick so I can show you. As again, the tornado watch is the big area of yellow on the screen. That is where you got the tornado watch. And let's hurry. Let's take that off real quick. And so there you go. There's the enhanced risk. There's the full risk map. And you can see these storms are well within the main area of concern. They're in the enhanced risk. And so that means that, if you're in any of these areas, I would definitely be watching things. You definitely got to be paying attention, especially if you're in Des Moines. At this current track with this storm, this is probably going to be in the Des Moines area at some point here. As here's the distance measurement. It's about 47 to 50. It's about 50 miles out, this storm at this point, about 45 to 50 miles out southwest of Des Moines. Let's draw a storm track on this one more time so we can bring in Des Moines and kind of the Ankeny area. So it's moving northeast again at 35. This will be in the Des Moines area in about 80 minutes. 80 to 90 minutes. So you got a little over an hour if you're in the Des Moines area to kind of set up a plan, because this cluster of storms is mean, and it is going to eventually be coming into the Des Moines area. So if you're in or around the Des Moines area, please be alert to the forecast and be alert to the weather this afternoon, because it's going to be coming into your area at some point here within the next couple of hours. Okay, let's take off the risk map and let's go back into this. We have, again, a tornado warning that's also has a tornado watch associated with it. So here is the broader picture. As you can see, from Omaha to Des Moines to Fort Dodge, over down to Ottawa. All these areas in and very close to the tornado watch at this point. Um, and I also want to throw this. I just want to briefly mention that back here in South Dakota, there is just a bunch of snow and freezing rain going on. Um, let's pull up this other radar view. So, very briefly, yes, up back here, on the back side of this system, you have, your freezing rain um, in pink, and then you have the snow, regular snowfall in blue. Um, so yeah, that's what we have going on all the way, on the other side of this system. And again, this area, you got a low pressure right here, your storms on the southeastern side of the system, and then on the back end, you have your snow and freezing rain and the cold air. So, when you look at an environment like this where you have the cold air going that way, and then you got the Gulf of Mexico moisture and warm air feeding into this system, that's where you create these problems in these areas of severe weather, and that's exactly what we have going on here at the present time. So let's go back to the tornado area of concern. Let's change weather products here. Get back to the traditional view. And man, that is a nasty hail core right over the town of Orient, Iowa, right in there. That is a wicked hail core. If you are, if you're in and around the Orient area, you are definitely experiencing some large hail right now associated with this storm. And as you can see, as we're picking up, there's also some lightning bolts. As you can see here on the map, you can see the lightning strikes. Um, so there's obviously a lot of lightning going on. Let me see if I can maybe pull up maybe a little bit more. Um, it looks like there was a little bit of an update to that tornado warning. This one should be expiring any second now, but this one is updated, just now updated. So this one, damaging tornado, golf ball sized hail as well associated with this tornado. So not only we got the tornado threat, but within that hail core that we were just mentioning, there's golf ball sized hail according to Doppler radar. And by the way, weather spotters have confirmed this tornado. There is a confirmed tornado on this storm. And let's pull up the velocity data. Um, I don't think I brought this up yet. So Orient and Spalding, these are kind of the two areas. This is the areas that we are watching very closely. Um, so it's a little bit broader of a rotation. It's not very condensed. It's not very tight. It's not a tight couplet, but it is there. And weather spotters have confirmed a tornado on this storm. That that's got to be right in this area, in between Orient and Spalding. If you are in those communities, you should have already been taking shelter. If not, please be taking shelter at this point, as there's likely at least a funnel cloud, but if not a tornado, an actual tornado on the ground. So this is not like Doppler radar, where it's just a radar indicated tornado. There's actually weather spotters that have confirmed this as a tornado. Um, and it's moving again northeast towards Zion, and then eventually Harrison, the Harrison area. It's moving northeast at about 35 at this point. So let's bring up a different product. This is the base velocity, and this kind of gives you the same kind of picture. You got the the reds going away from the radar, and the yellows kind of feeding into the radar, kind of like that. When you get that, you look in between the two contrasts of colors, and that's where you get the um, the area of rotation. And here's another example, kind of same thing. Um, you got the pinks on this side. You got the green. When you got the brighter greens and the brighter pinks / red colors, that's what we typically look for any kind of rotation. and we do see that right now with this storm, and it's got it's got a good velocity feature to it. Um, it's not the most impressive velocity I've ever seen, but it is definitely there, and it's something that will need to be monitored. And I would definitely assume that there will most likely there has to be an extension to this tornado warning. Um, One product too that I want to quickly show is the correlation coefficient, which if there's a little pocket of blue, a little circle, a little blue circle, which they're, it's kind of tough at this point. We're getting farther away from the Omaha radar, so it's getting more difficult to see, to get a clear picture of the velocity data with the dual pole. So this, it's a little bit spotty in nature. It's not very clear and cut. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a tornado somewhere in this area, in between Spalding and Orient. And it's moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. If you're in Zion, if you're in Nanito, if you're in Harrison, if you're in Maxburg, if you're in any of these communities, please be getting ready to take shelter, as this storm will be moving into your area very shortly. And let's back it up. This is the only tornado warning that we have at the present time. And again, it's in southwestern Iowa. Kind of moving now into a more central region of Iowa. It's kind of moving out of the southwest Iowa. So I would expect at this point, since this is the only tornado warning, this could be a situation where this storm kind of takes over and becomes the most dominant supercell. As some of the other cells you're looking at, I mean, this one is severe. Let's go ahead and mention this. This is for this cell right here over the Fontenelle area. And actually, as you can see, they just dropped all of the warnings that were in that area. But I'm going to stick with us here, as there will most likely be an extension to these warnings. So I'm going to stick around. But this one was severe thunderstorm warned, and this one was tornado warned. Both have been allowed to expire at this point. But I'm going to stick around here and see if there's an extension to any of these warnings. As you can see, back to the big picture, there is a lot of cells, a lot of different thunderstorm cells going on. Just kind of circle a few of concern right now that obviously this area, that's the main concern right now, near right over Greenfield, Iowa. But as these continue to progress and mature to the east, we still expect a very nasty severe weather threat ahead of us. We got a long ways to go. This tornado watch expires at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, so that's obviously still another 3 hours and 45 minutes. Let's switch up the radar a little bit. Okay, this gives us a little bit better picture as it's starting to move into the Des Moines area. As this is the Des Moines radar. I do want to go back in here and look at this storm again, as kind of the area of interest right now. It's kind of right in here, just a little bit east of Orient. And again, this is moving northeast, and I do want to zoom in a little bit more. Look at the velocity data. And there still is showing some rotation. And in fact, there could even be two separate areas. One could be right there, and another one kind of right in there. So that, obviously that one's a little bit more broad. A little bit northeast of Orient. That one's a little bit more broader area of concern. This one's a little bit tighter, but it's not. It's more weak. So we just something to keep an eye on in the area. Let's look at a few more products here. So yeah, basically just this entire area is concerning. Um, Again, the same area that we've been talking about, kind of Spalding, Orient, over towards Zion. That's the main concern right now. And again, we kind of look for that area. That's a more pixelated view. This is definitely a lot better. Um, the area that we're kind of looking for is right there where you have, the moisture feeding into the storm, and then the storm kind of wrapping around it. And then that's where a lot of times you get that rotation, you get that couplet. But as of right now, that's our main area of concern right now. That's our focus right in there. But as of right now, there is no warnings right now in Iowa. Actually, in the entire region, there's no active warnings right now. We just have that tornado watch. Um, let me bring this tornado watch in effect until 8 o'clock for central and southwestern Iowa, northern Missouri, and southeastern Nebraska. Although that has been updated, as you can see, there are no counties in Nebraska. There was a couple of counties in Nebraska down here, but those have been allowed to expire for Nebraska. So Nebraska, you are out of the picture. There's no more tornado watch in any part of Nebraska. And now we have a brand new tornado warning. This, not really surprising, as I was just, we were just talking about this cell that had tornado potential, but didn't have a warning yet. Well, now it does. So this tornado warning will go until 5 p.m. Central Time. And this is for Madison County in south central Iowa. If you're in northwestern Union County in south central Iowa, if you're in southeastern Adair County in southwestern Iowa, if you're in any of those counties, please be taking shelter at this point. So how about this? So at 4:10, there was a confirmed tornado located near Green Valley Lake or near Creston, moving northeast at 40. So the storm is starting to pick up some speed. It was moving at 35. Now it's moving at 40. So damaging tornado. So the hazard, damaging tornado and hail up to 2 inches in diameter. As weather spotters have confirmed this tornado. So there is an active tornado warning on the ground right now in Iowa, and it's moving northeast at 40. So that tornado was located near the Creston area. So there's Creston right there. So it's kind of moving like that, kind of a little bit more northeast than we thought. It is moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. So if you are in Zion, please be taking shelter. If you are in Maxburg, please be taking shelter. If you are in Harrison, if you are in McPherson, if you're in Ord, Buffalo, Winterset, East Peru, if you're in Zion, please be taking shelter, as this is a confirmed tornado moving northeast at 40. And Winterset obviously is the biggest area of concern, the biggest town of concern right now that's in this tornado warning box, as this is the most populated city. And let's do a storm track on this as this moves northeast at 40. So if Winterset in about 29 minutes, give or take. West Des Moines, 56 minutes. So if you're in Des Moines, be ready. You have about an hour or so to get ready to prepare for this storm. If you are in Patterson, if you're in Van Meter, Boneville in about 48 minutes, Prohl in about 50 minutes. So obviously, if you are in any of these cities listed, please be taking shelter. as soon as you possibly can, because this is a confirmed tornado. So let's figure out. Let's dive into this thunderstorm here and see if we can see where the most likely area of the tornado warning, of the actual tornado that's confirmed on the ground. And to me, the biggest area would probably be right over Zion. Um, it would probably be right in this area. My guess that would be where, if there was a tornado, um, it is a confirmed tornado, but it can go up. It can go back up at any time. But at this point, we have to just, assume that it is confirmed. I mean, it's for sure on the ground. We have to take it like that. So again, confirmed tornado on the ground. Let's go into correlation coefficient. There might be something. Let's zoom in. There might be. It could be right there, but again, it's pretty spotty. I don't really see any clear and convincing evidence of debris being picked up. But that is, I mean, it's definitely a pretty nasty rotation. I mean, you can see there's a hook on radar, kind of like that. And as it kind of progresses northeast, as we kind of draw the area for you, um, again, the area of concern would be kind of right there. Where you have the draft, the downdraft, kind of creating that hook feature on radar. And if anything, there's another one kind of right over Harrison right now. So we might have. I mean, this one could end up having two different tornado signatures with this storm. So there might not just be just one tornado on that. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But as of right now, this is the only tornado warning we have, and it's right in the middle of this tornado watch area. I do want to mention, I do want to throw this in here. There is a new severe thunderstorm warning down in northern Missouri for it's moving northeast to 55, and it's for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. So that's obviously it's still a very strong storm, but it is not the main area of concern. As this, with the tornado warning box, this is obviously the most concerning area. And let me zoom in a little bit. If, looking on this screen, if you are anywhere in the red, polygon, you need to be taking shelter right now. In Iowa. Again, this is in central Iowa, south central Iowa, and it's moving northeast again at 40. So I would say the next town, towns in line here, Macksburg, it'll be in your area within a few minutes, as well as Harrison, and then eventually McPherson, Ord. Those are the main towns right now of concern. And let me draw a little bit of a distance measure it from Winterset. Hold on a second. So from the Winterset area to this area of concern, it's about 12 to 13 miles. So Winterset, you don't have much time. Maybe about 15 minutes. Again, we'll draw another storm track here. We'll draw a short one here. For this one, so total population, kind of within the area of concern, 5,300 or so at this point. Let me show a different radar product. This is something a little bit different. That kind of shows us where we have confirmed reports of tornadoes. So let's kind of go over a few of these. So this one, funnel cloud located in Cass County, Iowa, by multiple storm chaser reports of a funnel cloud southeast of Cumberland, Iowa. So that was a funnel cloud reported. And then we had this one down here, right near Corning. Multiple reports of a brief tornado touchdown just south of Corning, 1 mile south. And then the latest tornado report, this is the one that kind of sparked the newest tornado warning. This one was 1 mile northwest of Cromwell in Adams County, Iowa. Storm Chaser reported a tornado just northwest of Cromwell via Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, you can actually go see that image that was reported. So here we go. This purple polygon. This is where a confirmed tornado is located, and it's near Green Valley Lake, near Creston, moving northeast at 40. And this tornado warning in effect until 5 p.m. And again, it's moving northeast at 40. Also, don't want to forget hail 2 inches in diameter. Also, the biggest hail report, 2.5 inches in diameter, 3 miles east northeast of Orient. A train spotter report of ongoing tennis ball sized hail east northeast of Orient. So that is, I mean, you could see that hail core. It's pretty clear and cut hail core right here in that purple, that dark red and purple area of the thunderstorm. And kind of on the south side of that, that's where you got the rotation. Kind of right in that area, just west of Macksburg. That would be the suspected area. But I would also watch an area of possible rain-wrapped tornadic activity, kind of just northwest of the main concern, which is right there. There might be another area, could be two separate areas there. We'll have to keep an eye on it, obviously. So we look at a few other radar products. This is a cool little product. This shows where there's the hail within the storms. So you look in northern Missouri, there's a couple supercells that are producing hail, but this is obviously the most intense of the hail that we have going on right now, just west of Macksburg, northeast of Orient. So right now, that is where we have the big hail, and it's within the same storm that is producing a tornado. So this is obviously a very nasty storm that's going on. And again, there's Des Moines right there. It's going to be in the Des Moines area in about an hour. So if you're in Des Moines, you got to get ready, because this is a tornado on the ground, and it's continuing. And I don't see any slowing down anytime soon as this continues to move in a more favorable environment. Again, confirmed tornado still remains in effect until 5. So at 4:21, a confirmed tornado is still on the ground. So that was 10 minutes ago. So this storm is still tornado warned, and look at the velocity data. A little bit just west of Macksburg, and I just seen we just got another report coming in right there. Funnel cloud. This was a train spotter report of a funnel cloud 6 miles west southwest of Macksburg. And so if you're in Macksburg, please just be ready, because this storm is heading right in your area. So let's go back to the main graphics here. So yes, right in here is the suspected area of a tornado, and it's moving directly towards Winterset and also Buffalo, Iowa. If you're in Buffalo, Iowa, please be ready. If you're in Winterset, Iowa, please be ready. These storms are not messing around, and they are pushing towards your area. I would definitely be taking shelter if you're in McPherson, if you're in Ord, if you're in Harrison, if you're in Macksburg. at this point. Let's go back to the velocity. And as of right now, it's not looking too impressive. But okay, that one is a little bit more clear and cut. There's definitely something going on right there. In between McPherson and Harrison, there's still that area of concern. And let's do a double image here. So now it's becoming very clear. It's starting to develop what we call a debris ball, or more of a hook feature, and it's pretty concerning. Right in here, you got that debris ball. Um, so this one, so the velocity, yeah, it's starting to get its act together. It is starting to show a pretty nasty hook feature. So that's the area right there, north of McPherson. That's the area that we're really watching for potential tornado development. If a tornado, you know, if it's not on the ground already, I mean, I would suspect it is, and we have confirmed spotters that have been reporting this as on the ground as confirmed. Um, let's This area right in here. That's the area of the most interest at this point for a suspected tornado. Um, so yeah, if you are in Winterset, please be taking shelter at this point, as well as Buffalo, as it's really starting to take its shape into a hook feature, or maybe even a debris ball. Let me check here if we can see anything on the correlation coefficient. And so far, not really seeing anything. There might be something right there or right there, but that would kind of be about it. But I'm not seeing too much yet. I haven't been too impressed with the correlation coefficient today. Um, it's just been very sporadic, and it hasn't been clear that there's any kind of tornadic activity going on. So on the left, so we got two screens going on here for you. Obviously, the screen on the left is the regular Doppler radar, and the one on the right, we're kind of dissecting this thunderstorm in this tornadic cell, and we're kind of looking at different products here and seeing what we can find. See if we can find something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. And this one, you can see that purple. That's just really, I think, just really strong wind shear within this storm. There's just some wicked winds probably within this area. Um, and here's another area, yeah, right there. So again, greens going towards the radar, reds going away from the radar, and you get the brighter greens with the brighter greens with the brighter reds. That's where the area that we're looking at for tornadic development. That's kind of exactly what we got going on. So this tornado warning expires in 23 minutes. It expires at 5 o'clock, and let's just pull it up here. This regular radar, and you can really see that hook feature now on the radar. And yeah, we're starting to develop a tighter couplet. Hold on a second. So these arrows right here, this tells us, okay, green, the bright greens, that's where we have the moisture feeding into this area. The reds, that's the colder air on the back side. And when you get the twisting of the winds, that's where you can get a tornado. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. We're seeing a more clear cut area of rotation at this point. That's definitely a bit concerning at this point. Um, and again, it's going to be heading in winter set very shortly. Um, and yeah, this is the by far. I mean, this is by far the most dominant cell that we have going on, or supercell. Um, but I would suspect at some point there's probably going to be other tornado warnings going on later on, other than that one. Um, but as of right now, that's the one tornado warning we got going on right now. Tornado watch in effect, obviously for central and southern Iowa and northwestern Missouri, and the broad area. It's kind of forming more of a broken line of supercells, kind of right here, and it's going to continue to move off to the east towards Ames, Ankeny, Des Moines, Ottawa, and eventually, later on, Waterloo, it's Cedar Rapids, Iowa City. This is going to continue to just progress to the east. So if you're, if you're any of those, if you're in any of those communities that are, east of this area, definitely be paying attention, plugged into the weather, because this line is not, it's not going to calm down anytime soon. And in fact, let's go ahead and try to put up a future scan if we can do that. Just briefly, I want to just show the upcoming model very briefly. The HRR. So this is what we got going on now. We have that cluster, that line of thunderstorms, and it will continue to get its act together and continue to push off to the east. There's about 7. Okay, so let's back this up a little bit. This is at 6 p.m. So this is about an hour from now, as this will continue to push off to the east. So that's about 7, and you can see these areas again. It'll be going through about Waterloo, Iowa Falls, Marshalltown, Ottawa. That's about where it'll be at that point. And then 8 o'clock, there it is, right there. It's still going strong, and we suspect as it continues to go along, it'll be more of a wind line event. The tornado threat will most likely diminish later on. And look how far this line goes. You go from Wisconsin and Minnesota down through Iowa and through all the way down to southwestern Missouri, all the way down to Springfield, Missouri. You got just a huge line of thunderstorms, and it'll continue to. So that's kind of a future scan forecast, kind of a future look at things. So let's go back to radar. Let's go back to this area, and there is a brand new tornado warning that is now in effect, and this now includes Des Moines. Okay, so this now includes a very big city of Des Moines, Iowa. So if you're in Des Moines or around the area, please be taking shelter at this point, because this is going to be coming through the area now very shortly. So this new tornado warning expires at 5:15 p.m. Central Time. So at 4:34, about 8 minutes ago, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Winterset, moving northeast at 50. So it went from about 35 miles per hour to 50. It is now picking up speed and it is gaining a lot of steam and is moving northeast very quickly now. Um, and also, as well as the radar indicated rotation, we also have golf ball sized hail being picked up. Um, but this was a confirmed tornado, but now it is thankfully just radar indicated. So it has dropped a little bit. It was a confirmed tornado. Now it's just radar indicated as it moves into Des Moines, that's obviously very good. We hope that things kind of wear off a little bit, and that tornado threat kind of diminishes a little bit. Um, but okay, so Winterset, obviously it's right over Winterset right now. It'll be moving into the Patterson area, and then it'll be moving into the Norwalk area a little bit later. But now you got West Des Moines and then Des Moines. So those are the two. Those are the obviously the biggest areas of prime concern right now, because this area will be, this storm now is moving into a very populated area. So from Des Moines, the heart of Des Moines, this area, it's about 25 miles away. So you know it's getting a lot closer. And let's do a storm track on this again. Um, and it's now moving at 50. So let's bring some of these communities in. So, Winterset, obviously going through your area right now. Um, it'll be going through, Cumming 22 minutes, Orilla 24, West Des Moines 25 minutes. There you go. And then, the heart of Des Moines in about a half hour. Um, Norwalk in 25, Lakewood in 26 minutes, Ashwell in 27, Millman in 28 minutes, Windsor Heights in 30 minutes. So, all these communities, Ankeny, Iowa, Ankeny in about 42 minutes. So look at this population. That's kind of the main number that we're watching. 679,000 people in this area now, uh, impacted by this tornado warning now in this area of concern. And, this is, you looked at, there's a very clear hook feature to it, kind of right there as the radar has kind of updated now. And this is very nasty right now, right there, just in between Winterset and Patterson. It is a very clear cut hook echo on radar, and it is moving toward Des Moines. If you are in Des Moines, please be taking shelter, or if you are in any of these communities in the red polygon or near it, please be taking shelter at this point, as I would not be surprised at all if there was a confirmed tornado out of this that ends up happening. And let's look at this velocity, because this is very concerning now. Right here in near the Tileville area, Winterset, this whole area right there, that area is the area where there would be a tornado. And that looks very strong. There is a very strong velocity signature now. Again, in between Winterset and Tileville, that is a very nasty tornado signature. Not only on velocity, but also just on the regular radar. As you get that. It is a very classic. It has a very classic look to it. You got the tail there, and then you got that right there, and it's clear as day. There's definitely a very strong tornado signature on this. Right over Tileville. If you were in Tileville, I hope that you were in your shelter, because there's most likely at least a funnel cloud going over your area right now. And I would suspect that there would be a tornado. I'm not, obviously we don't know at this point if there is a tornado on the ground right now. Let's look on. I'm trying to look for maybe some pictures coming in that we can possibly see. Just bear with me for a second here. Just see if we can find any tornado pictures. And yep, southwest of Winterset, uh, there is a pretty large wedge tornado that was just west of Winterset, kind of right in this area. You know, about there. I would suspect, and it's moving northeast. I'm not quite sure how it's not. Yeah, okay, there we go. So yes, there is a confirmed tornado. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. This is now a large, confirmed, and extremely dangerous tornado moving northeast at 50, located over right over Winterset. And yeah, this is very concerning, as this is moving into Des Moines. If you're in Des Moines, you better be in your shelter right now, because you are now in this tornado warning polygon, and it's going to be heading into your area here very shortly. Um, as this is this is by far the most dominant storm out of all of them that we have going on right now. And again, I'm looking at the pictures. There is a large and extremely dangerous tornado live on the ground right now. As here's kind of a different view. And yeah, that velocity is pretty clear cut. I mean, it's there it is right there. Right over Winterset, now a little bit east of Winterset by a couple miles. And it continues to progress northeast. And it is very, very nasty. And correlation coefficient, not really picking up a whole lot right now. Let me see if I can see on the other radar here. See if we can see any kind of debris being picked up. Um, I'm not seeing. Maybe right in here. So the area that we would be looking for would be right in there. So let's see if we can see anything. Yeah, we're not really seeing a whole lot on the correlation coefficient, and so again, if there was a now that again, I haven't been too impressed. If there was, if there was a tornado on the ground with debris being picked up, it would show an area of blue, and it would be pretty clear cut. It would be like that. It would be like a blue circle, a little blue circle on the radar, and we're just not getting that. But that does not mean that there's not a tornado, because there clearly is. There is a tornado on the ground, large and extremely dangerous tornado. And in this area, enhanced risk, this is in the most favorable environment for a tornado right now. Um, and again, this is heading right into Des Moines, Iowa, right now. And let's do another measurement here from Iowa. It's about 20 miles now, and actually, it just refreshed. It's about 17 miles now from Des Moines. Um, West Des Moines, I think West Des Moines should be fine. They're far enough north that they should be out of the most concerning area. However, it could, if it starts to weaken out. Sometimes a lot of tornadoes like to take a left turn, kind of like that. So you know, that's why I think if you're, if you're in Cumming, if you're in, West Des Moines, I would still be taking shelter just in case. And, we'll bring you the latest. If it does end up kind of taking a left turn. But as of right now, it's just moving at a northeast clip, kind of moving in this area. Um, it's kind of heading right towards Des Moines at this point, which is obviously concerning. But we just got to track the latest that's going on right now. And okay, next town in line would be I would say Churchville. If you're in Churchville right now, I would say that is the next area of concern. Please be taking shelter. But if you're in any of these areas, you should be taking shelter. And yeah, this is a very, very strong velocity signature, kind of right there. Again, you get the bright greens. Sometimes you might even get a white, like a white color, and then you get the bright reds coming together. When you get those two, sharp contrasting colors coming together like that, that is the perfect storm for a tornado to form. And kind of right there, that's the area that we're watching at the present moment. Let's see if we can see any other products. Yeah, I mean it's a little more broader, but you still see that velocity. And storm relative kind of showing the same thing. That one is a little bit different product. Just kind of going through some of our dual pole products. So this is a little bit different. This kind of shows the wind shear, where the strongest winds are within the thunderstorm. So kind of over McBride right now, that's kind of like the worst of it, kind of right in here. That's just that's just thunderstorm winds. That's different from just regular your regular rainfall. And this one, again, it's just kind of clear and cut right in that area. That's the area that we're watching at this point. And here's the hail core. So we're kind of over McBride. That's the biggest hail core area. And towards Patterson, that is where we have the rotation. And that's kind of those are just some other products. So yeah, I mean, this right here, it's very clear cut. Let's zoom out a little bit. And that right there, I mean, that is as clear as it gets, folks. Right there. We have a clear tornado in this area. Let's switch gears here a little bit. Let's go back to this radar product. And again, we just have snow going on up here on the north side of the storm. But here again is the concern. This purple polygon or red polygon. Going to be heading into Des Moines again. Tornado warning. And kind of looking for any kind of reports. Nothing coming in yet from anybody that we have working. So 1 second. Look at all these tornado reports right over Winterset. Look at all those tornado reports, 6 of them. The latest one, tornado damage reported via spotter network, tree damage and minor damage to a home at this location just east of Winterset. That is the latest tornado report. But look at all those tornado reports right over Winterset. Um, so this one, debris, multiple reports via train spotter, emergency manager. Barns destroyed and houses completely damaged in Winterset. Yeah, Winterset took the worst of it, took the worst hit. Um, and that's in Madison County, Iowa, getting getting the big time hit of this tornado. This thing continues to push northeast. Patterson, if you're in Bevington, Martinsdale, Spring Hill, Norwalk, coming, Des Moines. Please be taking shelter as this. It is confirmed there is damage reported now coming out of this area, and this is really getting intense here. And this is getting its act together a lot more than even 10 minutes ago. It's a very large and extremely dangerous, violent tornado going on right now, and it is pretty. It's life threatening. I mean, there's no question about it. Um, Again, very dangerous. Please, if you're in Norwalk, please, that's another big area. If you're coming, if you're in O'Reilly, if you're in Lakewood, please be taking shelter at this point. But again, this is the area right here of concern, and it's moving northeast. It's actually heading directly towards the Des Moines International Airport. That's like the biggest area. And yes, and I mean, yeah, these kind of situations, when you have an environment like this, you get tornadoes to form, and this ain't something to mess around with. This is people's lives and people's homes and property on the line. And I mean, right there, I mean, that is a clear cut hook echo on radar, right there. And if this storm is moving towards Des Moines, and you can really see that rain, cool air, going, pushing down on the backside, and then you have your inflow notch, which is right in there, and in between there, that's where you get the tornado. And so that's where the most area of concern is. And that's where we have that tornadic area. So again, Norwalk right now, that is the town of particular interest. That is another town like um, a lot like Winterset that is directly in the path of this thing. And wow, yeah, that is a really nasty signature right there. That's a nasty hook. Um, let's look at the correlation coefficient. See if we can see anything. And not really. I mean, I would say just kind of in this area. Yeah, there's got to be a tornado on the ground still at this point. Um, I mean, it's still got a very clear cut hook, and Yeah, I mean, this thing, wow. This latest picture right there, that is just a very strong hook feature.